Hello, UXDX community. My name is Gianluca Rosania, and I am here to present you something super interesting, the future of work. We all know what's happening, and we're going to go through that very, very fast. But the whole point of this is to understand that we can actually have different perspectives of what's going to happen, and also how we can be better prepared. First, of course, I want to introduce myself. My name is Gianluca Rosani. I have over 10 years of experience in talent acquisition specifically. So I'm an expert in tech recruitment. I'm working for one of the fastest growing startups in Europe and now in the world. Maybe we can say it's a scale up now, called Global. We are delivering goods in these times and always, and I'm very happy to be working in this amazing team. I had experience of seeing the evolution of the team from 25 engineers to 300 and many more adventures that are very, very interesting. Apart from that, I'm the co-founder of Lyft. Lyft is a educational tech recruitment company with a little bit of motivation and courses and a little bit of everything. It's a mix. Also, I'm an author of a book called El Camino. It's a book to let younglings find their path and their passions. Also, I created a recruitment methodology called Project Gaia in physical, and we just finished an app that is in beta version, and I'm super happy about that. 1 year of hard work. And the last thing, I created a podcast called Path to Principal. So if you want to know what a principal software engineer do, please go and listen to it. So this is a little bit about me. Now we're going to move forward to what actually you came for, right? Okay, first the context. What are we going to see today? First, the current situation. I will try to pass quick here because we already know what's happening, right? But it's always good to have some data. Then the second thing is a very interesting thing because I got information from venture capitalists and founders. This is because I'm exposed to this environment, and this is a information that will not be shared of who it comes from, but the information itself, it is there. So it's super important for you. The third thing, the actual outcomes from what's happening in an HR perspective. The fourth, the new models. And here is where we are going to focus because they are super interesting. And the Q&A will be on December 3rd. So don't forget about that. I'm waiting for you, 5 p.m. CET. Let's talk about the current situation, right? What's happening now with the economy, world's impact, right? We will see diverse graphics of what's happening, but we already know this, right? So the US jobless claim surge, it's huge right now in the whole world. We have lost 30 million people have lost jobs, sorry. So it's a lot. The oil price, it's going down and turned negative for the first time in history. Many economies already enter recessions. Fewer flights, we already know that, or zero flights. Another industry that has a lot of impact, car sales. Apart from Elon's Tesla and the innovation that he's doing, we and NEO, of course, also. But apart from that, we are seeing that many manufacturers are also suffering. And this was in April, so this is updated already. All the countries have travel restrictions, and everyone has suffered from this. So the current situation, talking about work, right? Less offers, more demand. So it's clear. It's very, very clear. It's harder to find a job now. There's a lot of uncertainty that generates in people or a post-traumatic stress because it's very hard. Maybe you have kids, you have duties, or a post-traumatic growth that is also happening. There's many entrepreneurs out there that have created their companies or their ideas and they have moved forward. My advice, they say that this phrase is from Charles Darwin. Actually, he was in Galapagos Islands in Ecuador, where I am from, making his studies. But he said, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, neither the most intelligent, is the one most adaptive to change. So this is we're going to begin with this because it's the most important thing. Now, what you came for, this is very, very interesting, right? Let's discover what VCs and founders' perspective is and learn about the Spanish market. First, this information has been taken from board chairmen, founders, VCs, right? The source of information is being protected, of course, but you will get it that it's the important thing, the perspective of people that actually is putting the money in and founding companies and being there, right? We also need to understand that each market behaves different. Spain has a cash economy. Latin America, cash economy. I don't know. The States, it's a different economy, right? We have services economy, cash economy, product, diverse types of economies. In Spain, we have a cash one, right? So some of the questions that were made to these VCs and founders were, on a scale of 0 to 10, what are founders' biggest concerns? The venture capital that drying up. That was the first one, because they say, okay, there are many products that are pivoting and changing, but what if not? Sales declining, of course, team morale, layoffs, we have seen a lot, cutting expenses, working remote, sectors in jeopardy. Here's another, change founders are making within companies. So cut off his expenses. This is something that happened, and we can see 51%. Cut marketing spend. Also, hiring freezes, pivoting the product, as I said before, renegotiating contracts, contractor layoffs, ending office leases. This is very interesting. When do VCs and founders think the US, because actually from those, there were 12, from those 12, 70% more or less were from US, and it's a good reference point actually, in my point of view, of course. And again, my point of view is just one more point of view for your knowledge, nothing more. It's not the last word, but taking that as a reference. When do they think the US will recover from the COVID crisis? The majority fell into the strong economies maybe start feeling an improvement in Q2, starting Q1, Q2, 2021, but everyone concedes that it will be in April 22. So we still have left 1 year and a half at least of struggle, 1 year and a half of things that we must know, so we are prepared, right? This is my message. And beyond April, all the smaller economies. But I do believe April 22 is a fact, I think, with data. I recommend you the book Factfulness, really good, of Hans Rosling, really good, that talks about this type of things. But there you have. So April 2022. And this was an image about how things are doing. But now, key factors, right? 2021 and 22, depends on your economy, start to recover. 51% of companies are cutting diverse expenses. That means the acquisition power is less, of course. And 36% of them are pivoting the products, doing new solutions. Now, the actual outcomes, what has happened, right? I know that I talk too fast, so please stay with me. They say that Italians talk too fast. For fortune, I'm mixed between Ecuador and Italy. Okay, so let's go to the actual outcomes from the employee side, right? I'm an employee, I go to my job, I do what I do. What happened, right? So we're going to a transition. It's a mix, but one of that part, it's going back to live to work. What does this mean? You remember the baby boomers from 46 to 62, 63, more or less, or dads maybe, or mothers, right? And they were having one job or two jobs for their entire careers. I don't know, 20 years, 10 years in one job with a huge, and I don't know, when they went down, a huge indemnization. I don't know how to say it in English. Sorry for that. But with a huge retribution, right? So we passed to Gen X, that wasn't a transition, and then millennials and Gen Z, we are more generations that like more versatility, flexibility, freedom, more than one job. So we used to have we have now, 3 to 4 jobs, more or less. I can speak for myself. For example, I have my main job, but I have my I know I wrote my book, and I built this methodology, and I'm giving classes in universities. This can count something like that, right? Like this hybrid. So right now, I believe employees will look again for security because they need to pay bills, they have families, many of them, right? So we are going to go back to live to work, stay in one place that makes us feel safe, and at the same time with freedom, right? And a little bit of flexibility. But this is another topic. Now we are adapting to new tools. We are seeing right now with Xavi and with the UX DX, we are using Zoom to make a conference. This is a new tool at the end. This is a new way of doing things, right? And we have a lot of tools. You can follow me also on Thursdays. I post, it's in Spanish, but I post 4 tools every Thursday about HR and business, and they are very interesting. But there are a lot of new tools, right? And we will see some in the next slides. Bigger expectations. So as an employee, I have bigger expectations. I want that my company is more granular, so I can feel more safe and bounded. Clear. Now, from the employer side, so more speed, less bureaucracy. Things are faster, right? Maybe we it's sad, but we cut certain positions that were not that necessary, or that I don't know, change, or we automate, right? So everything is faster. Everything is much faster in that sense is good. More innovation. Already we are seeing a lot of innovation. Flexibility. Many companies working from home, and definitely, for example, Twitter, Facebook, I don't know, Shopify, I think, many more, right? And many others are adopting a hybrid model between full percent remote and health. For health and more care about it, very interesting. We're looking for a holistic healthcare. So we're talking about mental health, physical health. So for example, we have certain programs that I have seen, well-being programs in your company. That's very good. And that data, right now, all of our data is at risk, and more now that everyone is online. So to work remotely effectively, your data needs to be secure. So that's another huge place that is growing a lot. Now, this is even more interesting. Tendencies, the new models, right? And this is gotten not just from my perspective, from many books, from meetings with book authors that are talking about this, and many sources of information. So again, this is a good reference point, but go out, read more, find more, but this is a good reference point. So the first tendencies, right? Again, as I mentioned before, my dad had one job for 20 years. Then it's me that I have 3, 5, I don't know. And then there's the future workers that I don't know, will have 5 side gigs, 1 main project, and I don't know, 2 other projects. So diversifying, having 5, 6, 3, I don't know, different things to do, right? This is the first thing that we are already seeing. And it's true, because with internet, with Instagram, with YouTube, with many other ways of selling, we can do 2 things at the same time. Actually, many people talk about how to make money meanwhile you sleep, because you have different time zones, and that's what internet lets you, right? This is one example. Second tendency, and this is very interesting, I want your full attention here. So I don't know if you have heard about the micro workers. Micro workers are, for example, are Amazon Mechanical Turf, 5euros.com, Click Worker. In these web pages, you go and you hire someone per one specific thing. You pay right away, and that's it. They deliver, and you have it. Great, right? Because these will cost less resources. You need something punctual, go there, right? These are the micro workers. Then something that has grown a lot, on demand, is the sector that I'm working on, right? On demand, you have Globo, Uber, Deliveroo, Didi, Lalamove, and all the world is filled right now with on demand. So what means that? I as an employee have I'm in this platform, right? Any on-demand platform. So I know that this platform is on demand. I will have a job eventually, daily. They will need me, and I will be there, and I can provide my services. So this is by demand, right? And this is a new way of economy that we are seeing now. The third one are the blue collars, right? So blue collars are called to the people that actually work on places, right? This is still happening and will be there. Then you have the freelancers or white collars. But here we have, I don't know, Upwork, Fiverr, and this combination between the micro workers and the freelancers, because it's maybe more longer projects, couple of weeks, or team things. So this is also happening now. Before we didn't have that. And the last one, the top experts, right? I don't know. You can hire a top expert that helps you with, but it's costly because it's high quality, right? Right. So with this information that it's super important to understand, we have seen that micro workers on demand and the freelancers right now have grown a lot. Before we didn't have that much access to them, so we just tended to hire one person for one job. Or beliefs, and I say or because again, this information has been taken from many sources. So for a company, in the future, we're talking about 5-10 years maybe, but for a company in the future, will be cheaper and safer to contract people from diverse sources per project than actually hire someone full-time and so on, right? Because that's costly, that involves a lot of things. You commit, again, finding a job, a blue-collar job right now is like a relationship. It's not anymore about retention of the employee. No, it's relationship. I grow, you grow. I give, you give me, and like that, right? So like that, you need to keep that relationship, and it's costly. So maybe in the future, this could happen. That you have a project, boom, you pay for the project, that's it. You don't commit to anything bigger in that sense. And this could be happening, depending, of course, of the size of your company. This is the biggest change that we are seeing in the coming years. And now, to close, very quick also, I will try to pass quick here, but of course, giving you the idea. So what new models already of working and things are happening around us, right? The rise of digital hiring, we already know that. All the interviews were Zoom, were Google Hangouts, even contracts online, freelancing, like everything we can do with the internet, actually. So everything is digital, and a lot of new tools. Smart buildings, I remember when, I don't know, it was like 2000s, and my father told me, hey, I saw a movie called Minority Report, that it was not that good, but you can like it. But it was about how technology was there, and you click one button and suddenly something went down. This is already happening. So you have smart buildings worldwide that are helping us thrive with this. The third topic is AI fluency. So how much we are influenced by AI and ML, right? And we will see neural nets and deep learning and all of this. The fourth is new job descriptions, new skills and inclusion. I will talk about this in a while, and always on culture. So let's go with the rise of digital hiring. Very quick. For example, I will give you the Muse. The Muse is a new way of applying to companies and get to know their culture. You go there and you see the culture of the company actually more than you just see in a normal job advert. Video My Job, like to attract talent by video. Again, new tools. Backstrap, automated CV parsing. So this also is happening in many companies worldwide, that the CV screening, it's starting to happen with AI, right? So the AI will check a certain skills and keywords and then filter those. I do not fully agree with that. Some companies do, some companies don't. Again, but it's happening. It's automating things, right? Thama, this is an AI that makes social media screening using machine learning and natural language processing. So it's interesting also. With Thama, it's interesting because I don't know if you have your social media open and not private. I mean, they can check things that have happened in your social media. So it's better to keep private now. You don't know. Automated artificial intelligence schedulers, the same behavioral pattern recognition, conversational AIs, many things, right? Smart buildings, we talked. Now, fluency. Collaborative AIs. AI will be designed for collaboration. Machines will continuously build and improve their understanding of humans, improving their ability to collaborate and drive productivity. I will show you one example of this. Extended reality. We're not just talking about virtual realities, virtual, mixed, and augmented reality. everything, right? Right now, the iPhone 12, for example, have this LiDAR scanner that gives you the opportunity to start doing augmented reality with your phone. So if you have it right now in your hand, imagine how it will be in 5 years. We have multimodal interfaces, and this is very interesting. I also will show you something that you will get like amused, like wow. But 3D haptic feedback, gesture recognition, and even smell. And not just smell, even taste be used in interfaces systems to provide more diverse and accessible ways to interact with data. And what I talked about before, secure distributed ledger like blockchains provide an immutable transfer and data storage mechanism that can automate work processes such as real-time payments, for example, right? And in general, blockchain and security, it's huge. FLUENCY, right? For example, Devo is a personal assistant AI that learns productive patterns, basic productive patterns that you have, and provides suggestions, like when you're in Google and you're writing an email and it provides all the answer with just a tap. Things like this. It automates your normal work, so then you can concentrate more on the cognitive work. That's the objective of Devo, right? And super apps, we talk about WeChat, for example, in China. With it, you can do everything. You can even send tips to people through WeChat, like everything. You can do anything. Mentor VR, provide onboarding and training experiences via VR. We are moving forward. This is very interesting. So I told you about haptic feedback and these type of things. Microsoft has joined with Fourkind, and they partnered Macmira to make the first ever created whiskey, AI whiskey. So again, you may go there, buy a Macmira, and it's made by an AI and a machine, and you didn't even know that, right? So imagine if we can get things into production just with machine learning, deep learning, neural nets, AI, many things will change, and we as employees need to adapt. That's where I'm going now. Steemit, that's another social network that created their own crypto, and you can pay with it and so on. And yes, now I'm going to the new job descriptions. So before you needed, I don't know, a marketer, a human resources specialist, a designer, the transition then, a developer, an engineer, right? Now, the combination of skills, I think, will be huge. Many people are changing from marketing to doing boot camps or learning or self-learning to engineering, for example, or design or this type of things. This combination of skills actually will be huge, because you will have a unique combination of skills that will help you thrive in the future, right? So this is very useful. Think always about that. And the second thing is that, yes, we will need more engineers, more data people, more designers, everything more related to automation, to the future, to what we are doing, right? So in the future, we will not have gardeners. Everything will be automated. And this is the transition that we need to understand, that at the end, if you can learn anything related to, again, engineering, data, software, design, product that can help you, do it. Even if it's for your own sake, just to understand it better and then start moving forward. But yes, it's not anymore the future. It's happening now. So let's start moving there. And that's my they're making some things up. And the last thing is the always on culture. And this is something that we need to be aware. So what's the always on culture, you may be guessing? Basically, if we are working remotely, right? Finally, my employer, after coronavirus, of course, let me work from Bali. So that's amazing. I'm in Bali, I'm working, everything is good. But you have a schedule, right? From Monday to Friday, I'm inventing CET, 9 to 5 or 6, right? The always on culture means that as we have access to internet and our computers and our mobiles and everything is connected, if we receive an email at 9 p.m., we will get to that email, even at least read it, if not answer it. You need to put a stop on that, because that could cause burnout in the future. And this is something that is already happening. So the idea is that avoid the always on culture, respect your schedules and say, hey, I worked for today, I answer you tomorrow, because we need to have this balance, and this will be key also in the coming years. It's something to take into account. And Twent, this is from Stephen Hawking, my favorite scientist in the world, physicist. Actually, I recommend you the book A Life for Science of Stephen Hawking. Is his biography. It's incredible because he had this disease, right? This disease that he was fighting with for all his life, or a great part of his life. And he always was happy because he always said, even if I cannot move my body or even talk, I'm happy because I can use my brain. And that's what makes me happy. Of course, each version has a different purpose and things that make them try, but the message is beautiful, like always seeing a good and a positive thing about everything that is happening around. And he said, perhaps this was in the Web Summit in 2017 in Lisbon. He said, perhaps we should all stop for a moment and focus not only on making our AI better and more successful, but also on the benefit of humanity. So try also to not just make us automate things and make things work and sell more, but also on the other side, right? Try to help with and so on. And it's happening. I'm seeing things moving forward in Barcelona in the health hub that is in the ex-hospital Sant Pau. There are many companies there using top technologies, trying to overcome and help with all of this. So yes, this is it. And the Q&A, you know when it is. It's on December the 3rd. I will be there 5 p.m. CET until 6:30 p.m. CET. And you can connect with me. As a recruiter, I'm always active on LinkedIn. And of course, you can follow on social media.